Check out this sweet travel journal. In this video, I'm going to take you step by step to make this adorable slim journal. And I call it a travel journal. Actually was inspired by Steph Howell at Hilltop View Journals, and they called it an envelope journal topper. But I love the slim insert that has an elastic band holding it in. A pretty simple design I think anyone could make. And you can take this, put this right in your luggage, take this with you on a trip, stick it in your purse if you're going to a little convention or meeting. And the nice thing about it is, because this is removable, once you've got this filled up, you can totally take this out and put in a new one. And I'm going to show you how to make this as well. So stick with me. We are going to have a lot of fun today. What you will need for this project is some brown paper, packaging paper, an old bag, a ruler, some coordinating, some of your favorite scrapbook paper, whatever you want to use. You could use magazine covers, you can use anything you want. A few of these are from Elizabeth Craft Designs. The other ones I've had in my stash for a while, I'm really not sure where they're from. Some lined paper, some paper tape, some string for making a binding. It's a simple binding, a needle, some elastic, and all. And then of course some stamps, your favorite stamps, a little piece of lace and some glue. And I am going to stitch around my backdrop papers, but you can just glue them in. That would be fine. So let's get started. Let's do the writing journal first. So the actual travel journal is 9 1/4 tall by opened up 14.5 inches wide. Each section is about 4 inches deep. So we're going to make this a little bit smaller than the cover. Let me go ahead and put a score mark in here in the middle. All right. Put that, fold it in half. And then we're going to take the paper. Paper is going to be the same width as this, but a little bit shorter in height. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold these in half. If you've ever folded a number of papers like this, you know that you kind of end up having to trim them, because when you fold them in half, the very center ones, of course, are going to be sticking out a little bit on the end. You just can't get around that. And because I've chosen to use this blue bordered paper, it just shows up a little bit more. That's okay. I'm not going to worry about it. We can always, if you really don't like that, you can take a straight edge and a blade and really make that perfect. All right. Simple as that. Fold that in half. I'm going to go ahead and pop that in. So see what I mean? When you fold it in half, I will, after I get this sewn in, I will go back with a straight edge and cut that. At this point, I'm going to take one of my large paper clips just to keep everything together. And then using our awl, you really don't have to measure it. You can just eyeball it. Make sure everything is pushed in. Take my little tip off. I finally got my awl. Actually, on Amazon, there's a really great kit of the awl, 2 waxed threads. There's a little measuring tape in there, some needles, and it was like $6. I couldn't even get over how cheap it was. And so I kind of wondered about the quality, but it's really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and put one hole there. This is just going to be a 3-hole binding. Okay, got our holes. Let's get a needle. The waxed thread that comes with the kit is here. I'm going to show you. It's a little bit thicker than what I'm using, and you can feel the wax. So if you have a heavy duty journal with a lot of pages, I would suggest that. But for something a little bit lighter,
I don't really use the heavy duty waxed thread. So let's go ahead. We're not going to knot this. Remember last time, we're going to go in through the center, leaving ourselves a little tail. We're going to come up through the back. We're going to skip the center. We're going to go down to this hole. And then up through the center again. I do not want to get that thread. There we go. Simple as that. I told you this was going to be easy. The more time-consuming thing with this project is embellishing it when you get it done. But the actual construction of it is very straightforward. So let's put one of these on one side of the middle and one on the other. When you come up, you should try to have one string on the other side. There we go. Let's turn it over, make sure everything looks tight. I'm going to tighten it a little bit more. In both directions. Great. And I'm going to do 3 knots. See how easy that was? So I am actually going to use mine, and I'm going to make a couple of these the same size and just have them on hand. I like taking notes at church sometimes, or if I go to a little meeting for work. But look at that, isn't that great? So that is essentially done. So we can put that aside right now. I'm going to give you measurements on this, but you can do whatever you'd like. It's not exactly the same each. The middle section is a little bit bigger. So as I said, overall 9 1/4 by 14 1/2. The front flap is 4 inches. The middle flap is 4 1/2 inches. The back flap is 4 inches. And then this little tuck spot is 2 inches. So the first thing that we're going to do is reinforce all the areas that are getting folded. While this brown paper is pretty hefty, you know, you're putting a lot of time into this and you want this to last. So I'm going to go ahead and just put some of this paper tape. I'm going to put it on the outside here. I like just putting it, making it a little bit bigger. Going back with my scissors and just cutting that. We're going to put one piece here on the inside. This tape is nice. I also got this in Amazon. I'll put it on under the description. But very sticky, and you can rip it, which is great. Some brown tape, be careful, because when you order brown tape, some of it is has to be activated with water. And I definitely did not want to get into that. This is a great product. Okay. So we've got that. We've got that. I'm also going to put a piece right here on the flap. The other thing I didn't do the first time I made one of these, and I'd like to do it now, is I did not put the tape on the edges. I just think that it's a lot nicer to have that covered. It just will really add to the sturdiness of it. Here's our tuck spot, which I will sew down. Our front flap. Yeah, I think this brown tape is going to make this a lot sturdier. Okay. So next thing we're going to do is make the front flap. So to do this, take a ruler and a pencil and measure up about 1/2 inch from this fold mark and just make a light line. And what we're going to do is take these corners and fold them down to the center, to that line that you just drew. And we're going to just tuck this down about 1/2 inch. And I'm going to go ahead and glue that. I think that's fine. I don't think I need to put a piece of tape over that. So, that's what that looks like. Let's go ahead and take a look at the pieces for the flap. So you'll need a piece for the outer and the back of the flap. So I chose this for the outer. Do the angle. All right, I'm just gonna tear this. Use this as a template for the other. Let's take a peek and see how that came out. That looks pretty good. So all the edges are about between 1/4 and 1/8, a little bit smaller, just so that you can see the brown paper. So I can see right here that I have to take a little bit off. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for the other flap. I saw Steph tear her paper like this, and you know, I probably would have used scissors. But I thought I'm going to try that, and I really learned something from her because it does give it that nice, you know, raw edge that we all like. If you don't like that, just use scissors. You could also use a trimming tool. I have already pre-cut the other pieces. So this will be the center. This will be this piece, the tuck spot. We're going to put this on, flip this over. This side will have this pretty, which actually kind of becomes part of the front when you have the journal, as you saw. Oops, don't want to done that. And then this is the back piece. I'm going to go ahead and ink these edges and sew them, and I will be right back. I'm back. Okay, let's go ahead and get this thing assembled. So I am going to use a combination of 1/2 inch double-sided tape and some glue to glue these on. Down without too much trouble. Okay, now we need to put in some eyelets to hold our book in. Some people will put them on this side. I like putting them in here. That's why this middle section is a little bit larger, because you just have to make sure that that's going to close. And the other reason why I put the extra paper tape on the edges is because we're putting eyelets in there. I'm using the smaller eyelets for this part. So I'm going to try to grab a little bit of the cardstock and a little bit of the brown paper just for strength. We'll do one there, just a little bit larger than the book, and one there. Sometimes in there. Okay. Eyelets. So we have those, and while I have the crocodile, let's go ahead and do the center eyelet, which is the bigger size. I'll use the same bronze color. We'll use a little ring so it'll be nice. So let's go ahead and get that punched. finishing rim on. And yeah, that always comes out nice. If you don't have a crocodile, these little kits come with a manual piece. I think I used it in my last video, and they work really well. Just don't do them on your glass top. There's another one that you don't need a hammer, but I don't have that one. All right, let's get our elastic on here. I just put a piece through. I tied my last one I did down at the bottom. So let's go ahead and come up here, go through here and around. Give yourself a little bit extra to just be able to grab enough to make that taut. So as you know, elastic doesn't last forever. At some point, if you like this and you want to keep it and switch out the inside writing journal, you might have to buy a new piece of elastic from time to time, but it should last for a bit. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to put the journal in, just slip the middle through. Get some nice tension on that. Okay. And then I just kind of turn it over. I just want to make sure it's pretty tense. I do an overhanded knot, and then I stick a little bit of glue on there so that doesn't come undone. We just made a traveling journal together. And yeah, I mean, to get back to the pages, the edges sticking out a little bit, that doesn't bother me at all. I kind of like seeing that little blue edge there. I got this notebook at 5 and Below, actually. And the reason why I bought it is because, isn't that cute? It's recycled paper. It had different color edges, and I knew that I wanted to make these little journals, and I thought, oh, that's cool. And plus I wanted something that was lined so you could write on it. So yeah, I think it was what? If it was $5 probably, it could, oh, I take that back. I got this at TJ Maxx. I was in 5 and Below that day, and TJ's. This was $6.99. So that's probably a little bit more than maybe you would want to spend. You could probably even find something like this at the dollar store. I just happened to be there and thought that cover was so cool. I'll probably use that for something someday too. Do a little project with my grandkids. So I just wanted to show you that. That's where I got that colored edge paper. But any paper will do. I actually would like to show you these. I made some other little journals. These are not stitched in yet, but I made that. I've got a smaller one, which I thought was really pretty. And then I did one with plain paper in case you wanted to doodle, if you're, bring it with you and sketch a little bit, or you just didn't want lined paper. So again, I just think this is a great idea. All of these, you can do the little 3-hole punch binding, and you saw how quick and easy that was to do. And yeah, it's a great little gift for friends too. And if you don't want to do that whole cover like I just did, just take a piece of ribbon and wrap around that, or a piece of jute and tie it and put a little embellishment on there, and that is a great gift to give someone. So that part is done. I'm going to come back and we're going to do the embellishing of it. So I did a few stamps first, some with embossing, some without. I used a lot of the Stampers Anonymous, Tim Holtz collection, some of the nice butterflies and moths and bugs from this one's called Specimen CMS 410. So let's go ahead and do that. I did it on the inner flap. And what I like to do sometimes, instead of using embossing dabber or the embossing pad is just use your ink and then clear over it, and it really works out well. Gives you a nice effect. This right here. That would be really pretty. Let's go ahead and glue that on. I got these beautiful laser cut flowers from this lady on Etsy, and I will definitely put her Etsy site on the description. They were just so intricate and beautiful. I'll show you a couple here when I finish gluing this and you can see, but for the right place, they are just exquisite, just beautiful. I think I'm going to put one of these on the front as well. I'll just show you some of the other flowers I got from her because they're just beautiful. Oh my goodness, look at these. My favorite flowers. Green and yellow. Look at that iris. With this neutral ribbon, I like it, and I was trying to figure out what else to embellish this with, and I remembered I've been wanting to use these adorable children's stamps. Esther Glass from Elizabeth Craft Design created these and drew these, and they are my favorite, and I haven't used them yet, so I thought this could be really cute, and plus there's some nice sentiments in here. So I went ahead and stamped some of these on a nice cardstock. One of the stamps is Noteworthy CS231, and then this one is called Planted with Love. I don't have the cover for that at this moment, so I'm not sure what the number is, but you can find those on Elizabeth Craft Design website. Just love those children. And I was kind of debating because, you know, I've got some butterflies and moths in this little travel journal, but I think it works. I like to use things that bring me joy, and these absolutely do. Let's see where we might want to glue these in. I was actually thinking that here I might put the stationery one right there. I like that. So the humidity was low enough this morning, so my husband and I went and took a walk. It has been so hot in the US, and
our area in particular, I live in Maryland, and it's been 100 with a dew point of like 74, which is really high. And it's just not even worth it to go out there and try to do anything outside. So I've been walking inside and things, but it felt good this morning to get out there and walk. I was thinking this little gal reading the book, I'm going to sit her right on top of that label. So what I was thinking was putting this little Noteworthy right above her. And I think I'll use my tweezers to do that. Easier. I almost said one of my favorite little sayings is whoops-a-daisy, and I have a funny story about that because I was babysitting my granddaughter. I think she was only like 1.5. She was talking, but you know, few words, and I was with her for like, I don't know, a whole day or something. I'm going to put this up here. It says, it's the definition of right. I just love these. And I didn't even realize it, but her and I went out for walks and did our little things that we do. And I must have said, whoops-a-daisy a couple times. Maybe she tripped or who knows. So, you know, I left. A couple days later, my son called me. He said, Mom, did you teach Hazel the word whoops-a-daisy? Because she's been saying it. And he goes, she's actually been saying it in the right context. And it's cracking me up, and I know that you always say that. I said, well, I didn't intentionally teach her that, but that is really cute. Some of these things you have to stand up to do. I don't know, you need the right perspective. I'd love to get one of those stand-up desks. I have one at work, and I would love one for here. You're not going to measure things and you're going to eyeball. Can't measure everything doing this. I mean, you'd be here all day. You really have to stand up though, unless you want your whole head underneath the camera, and that wouldn't be too good. I was thinking about putting this gal down here. What I think I'd like to do on the front is put some of these thistle heads here. And I was thinking if I put her here, I cut off a couple of the little tiny thistles from there. And I thought it would be really cute if she's holding a little bow with K behind her back. So I've got some cheesecloth that can go under these thistles, and or I have this tea stained lace doily, and I like these circles. What I was thinking was taking off like one here. Just don't want it to be like a rectangle. Actually, I take this one out, I can back it up closer to my eyelet. You know what I love? I love this lace, this brownish lace. Oh, I have two of them. I really like that one, and I like this one. Let's bring the whole thing over, and I've got all that brown in my little travel journal here. Oh yeah, look at this. This is perfect. So I think I figured it out. I realized that I can't put the cheesecloth behind this because this is so frail. This needs to go down with matte medium. The only thing that's bugging me about this is I feel like it's a little bit too light. I wish it had some like T-spots on it. I'm going to try is, I don't know, vintage photo will work better or tea dye. But I am just going to see if maybe, oh wow, that tea dye is really dark. If I can, try a little of each, shall we? Try it and see what comes of it. I love how quiet my little heat tool is. Not bad at all. Let's see if we like that better. Wish it was blotchier. Not bad. Huh. Almost like, you know what I can do? I'm gonna just go for it. I think I just need to, and I don't even know if this will work, but we're gonna try it. What if I take my fan brush? Let's try. Oh yeah, it's working. That's what I wanted, just something a little more, maybe organic, you'd call it. I don't know.
All right, so here we go. Put a little matte medium in here. On there. Okay, I'm going to give that a little minute to dry while that's before I put on my thistles. And while that's drying, I'm going to do the little gal down here. So she's got her little bouquet behind her back, which I think is adorable. And if I were smart, I think I would use a piece of double-sided tape. Lose it with all that finagling. I'm wondering if I need one more thistle. I feel like I do to make that a bunch. I've got one. Right, let's get her glued down here. I think it's great, just like it is. So this is dry enough now to glue this on. That came out really nice. I'm happy with that. Because it's the front of the booklet, that's going to be a little bit, you know, we'll get a little bit more rougher handling. I'm happy. Look at the little bouquet. Isn't that nice? I think this came out wonderful. And as I said, the tie can go right through there now. So a couple more little things I wanted to add on here. I thought that would be nice on the back. Then for this area, I built this little collage, which I thought would be nice right here, because when you close this, let's see how high we should put it actually. Yeah, I mean, it'll be kind of peeking out right there. And I thought that was a nice addition. And then I want to add a stamp. Well, let me show you. I had this awesome buy. I bought this stamp collection at like a yard sale. And it was, they're incredible. It was like page after page of stamps. They're all like color coded. And yeah, it was a really good deal. The man basically just wanted to get rid of it. So I wanted to find a little stamp to go on this cluster, and we've got a lot of green going on here, so I don't think green is the way to go. That's not bad. That's blue, definitely not red. I don't have red anywhere else going on. This is kind of interesting with that tea stain. Let's take this one off. The only thing is they were put on with this, it's kind of like tape. And when you take it off, it definitely tears it. So what I do is I just flatten it out instead of trying to take it off. I think that looks nice. So let's go ahead and use some of our glue stick. Make sure we're not gluing this to the page. Just tie a little bit of cheesecloth around there. There. Okay, let's see. One last thing. I threw this in here. I thought it was kind of neat and it goes with this. I had made this at another time, but I thought it might be a nice little bookmark if you're, you know, somewhere and you're writing notes and you just want to throw that in there. And then it kind of fits in this tuck spot with the lace coming out. So I thought that was pretty. On the back of this, what might be fun, let me just look at the back. Yeah, that's enough there. What might be fun, because this is all about note-taking and journaling, I thought this might be really cute on here. Oh yeah. All right, let's do this. Let's just stamp this so you'll be able to see that through. And then the note I'll do on white. Look at that stamp. That is just ridiculous. How nice is that? So this is the cardstock I've been using. It's kind of like glossy on one side, matte on the other side, and I like the cream color. If I remember, I think what they did was made a slit in there so that could go in, which I could make a slit if I put something right here. So let's see where the paper actually goes. Probably right there. So this will go through. Oh yeah, look at that. Come on. I'll glue it behind there. I'm just going to do the top. I don't think you need much. Just enough to tack that down. Now I just need to cover that up. There's beauty and simplicity. Isn't that pretty? I love that. I think I'm going to use it. Stand up. We've got those nice lines to help us, although, yeah, very nice. That cluster came out good. All right, let's go ahead and put the tie around here. I would bring this with me proudly on a trip. And you know, maybe depending on what kind of an event it was, I might take the writing part out and bring it with me. Well, thank you for joining me today. I hope you've gotten some inspiration and value from this project, and will try it for yourself. Please subscribe and hit the like button, and keep an eye out for my next video, where we will add some special touches to a journal using botanical elements and jelly printing. Bye-bye. Love you guys.